I got off at the train, and then I went down by Kensington Street. I know I saw like on YouTube, there's a lot of homeless people there. And I've just been, I don't know, just trying to work my way out. Like, and then I went to New York. I'm just trying to like see like where
Okay,
good influences.
let me stop you there,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And my number one advice to you, Kelly, I would say, if you can, please stay away from Kensington.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
That is the epitome of the place that can suck you in and bring you down.
Okay.
Because you have a history of liking to be in a certain environment and being comfortable with certain people,
Yeah.
which is understandable. You know, people that are going through similar things that may be able to understand you better.
Yeah.
However, Kensington, Philadelphia is a different world.
Okay.
It will eat you alive, literally. Kelly, how you
Yes.
doing today?
Good.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
You know, we're here in Philadelphia,
Yes.
and you out here on the streets. What's your current situation?
Well, I usually stay like around this area because I find that people, they give me money around here, and they give me like coffee, food. I got a hot chocolate this morning. They have a shower and clothes around the corner from the courthouse at the church. And then sometimes I get on the train and I go other places like Kensington Street or something. Like if I just need a break. I know there's a lot of people on the streets there. I call my parents in Chicago and I have my son there. I'm trying to get him back. I'm trying to get a job. I have a problem with like there. I can't get a job there because the economy is like different and it's too hard for me to get a job there. I'm usually not homeless there, but I have a problem with like abusive boyfriends, so I left. And then everywhere else, it seems like the economy is good, but the competition is bad, and then I end up homeless. And then so I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to stay focused. I got into another like abusive relationship, and I'm still going like up and down, back and forth, because he did like a lot of drugs, and I got back into that and drinking and stuff. So.
Okay, so when you say here,
But when I'm outside, I don't really do that stuff. But yeah, when I went back and had an apartment, I went back and then I started doing that stuff again. Because then I actually started talking to him again because I got bored. And then I realized I can't. It wasn't just because I was homeless. It was actually that situation that was making me homeless. So.
oh wow, okay, so for those that don't know, this is downtown Philadelphia when you say here,
Yeah.
right? And where are you from initially?
Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, so you're from Chicago, and how long you been in Philadelphia?
I came here January last year, and then I left. I went to New York. I was staying like in Manhattan from April till October, and then I
Okay,
came back. I was trying to get a job there, and then I went to the shelters and everything, but it got kind of like people were getting in fights and stuff, and it got kind of scary.
okay.
Um,
So
Especially,
you
I'm
went,
trying to get away from that because I have a problem with that because my ex-boyfriend was, he had a temper problem and stuff, so I got scared and then I left, and then I just came back here because it's like more chill here. So,
okay, so it's more shelters in Philadelphia. And what made you leave Chicago?
I couldn't get a job anymore, and it was hard to pay rent, and then and I started living off my credit cards, and I ended up having like 4 credit cards, and then I wanted to go West Coast because I wanted to like try to go for my dreams because I just had like horrible jobs there. I can't really, because most of the jobs there are you need like a degree or a master's degree, and you need previous experience, and they don't really hire like right away, and I couldn't really. So I left, and then I became homeless after like 3 years. So when I was in Nevada. So
Okay, so you went from Chicago to Nevada.
yeah.
Okay, and
And then I went to Texas because it was too cold once I became homeless. Then I met another boyfriend who was abusive.
okay, so you initially became homeless in Nevada
Yeah,
after leaving Chicago.
yeah.
And did you have family in Nevada?
No.
Okay, so you were just out
I
there.
met someone online, and then when I went there, we decided, we talked for like a month, and then we decided to separate because I realized he's not a good influence. And then I was doing really well. You know, I had like 2 jobs. I was saving money. I was like getting new clothes. I was like starting to really like, I was feeling good. Like I was going for my dreams and stuff, you know. And then everything changed again. Then it just got too hard. And then I realized like, I'm not sure. I think it was just still, I still hadn't got over, okay. I still hadn't got over, I think the relationship had still affected me. I was running from it, but I think it still was, because I started trying to like reconnect with him, and it was the same thing. And then she was just like turning me down, and I just.
So if you had to give me one reason why you first became homeless, what would that be?
Not saving money. Not being able to find like the kind of jobs that were right for me or that made enough money to get me out. I was in like a lot of debt. Um, and I think not like talking to people that are not trustworthy, getting scammed. I started getting involved in like scams, and people were stealing from me and stuff, like my bank account and stuff. And I think I was just like not, I think I didn't learn how to um it was harder than I thought.
Okay, so now we in Nevada.
Yeah.
You had a job
Hmm.
in Nevada. What were you doing?
I was
for
working
work?
in retail.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
And then I was also doing like, I was trying like warehouse jobs, but
okay, so how long were you in Nevada before things started going downhill?
like 3 years.
Okay, so you were out there for 3 years, and then
Yeah.
things started going.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was, yeah. It was like, yeah, yeah. It was okay. It's just financially,
right. It was a
for
little
me, it
hard.
was just a financial mess.
Right.
It became like, I was living in like a fantasy where like, you know, you have to save money. You can't just live off your credit cards.
Right.
Eventually too, because they catch on. If you're living somewhere, they know you're going into debt. They can tell, and it starts to get, they kind of try to start kicking you out, you know. So, and then you kind of feel it, and then you just move out.
Okay,
Because
so
I couldn't do it. I
you
couldn't
had
keep
an
up.
apartment or house, and
Yeah.
what was the moment that you left from having a roof over your head to being on the street?
I started getting like depressed, and I had like a suicide attempt, and then I ended up in the hospital. Um, and when I had therapy there, I started realizing that it was again like probably because I started going through like, how did this happen, and I realized it wasn't really my upbringing. It was probably my past boyfriend, because he was you know, like he kept trying to like keep me down, like lower than what I could do, and I just kept listening to him and putting him like above me. And then that's when I kind of just went, and then I don't know, I think it just got too hard for me, and I ended up homeless. And once I did, I started meeting people that were, I hadn't met these kind of people before, because where I'm from, a lot of people are not homeless, they don't end up homeless. And I started to kind of see like almost like a familiarity, like a connection, like they're struggling too, and it's like something I hadn't seen. So I realized I might be homeless a little bit longer than I think, and if I want to get out, I'm really gonna have to work on not letting people like bring me Because I know how to do it. It's just like once I start listening to the wrong people,
You fall into
yeah, I will.
to
Yeah,
that to
exactly.
their behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now you're in Nevada, you're homeless, and you're in this homeless community. Did you try to find shelter in Nevada?
I did. I went to the shelter. I think for all I know, they had like one for women. So I did go there. I got a job. I was doing pretty good. I got a job at like a hotel. One of like they have like a casino hotel, and it's like a. And then I got sick. I got like bronchitis, and I was like coughing all night, and I kept getting worse and worse. And I didn't think I was gonna recover. I thought I was gonna die because I was sleeping outside, and it was really cold, and so I left. And I just like I quit the job and I left.
Or you just quit?
Yeah, I quit and then I left.
Okay, and now you quit the job.
And then I
So
went to Texas.
wait, so you were in a shelter while you were working?
I went there. I had some money because my parents were giving me like a little bit of money, not enough to get my own place. I would still have to have a job, but I got like a room, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to take it. I'm gonna try to get healthy, and I kept getting more and more sick, and I didn't know what to do because I was like, I feel like I tried everything. We might just need to move to another state and try something else.
Were you using at the time
I was
drugs?
smoking like a lot until I got bronchitis. Like I started getting addicted to smoking.
What were you
And
smoking?
like I couldn't stop. Just cigarettes.
Okay,
I
so
think
you
I
weren't
might have been
doing no
smoking
drugs
I
at that
was smoking
time?
a little bit of pot, but not.
So pot was the only drug you were doing at that
Yeah,
time?
and drinking probably.
Okay, and
But I
so
had stopped. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop. I got a job. I got hired, and then I got hired at one job. Then I quit, and then I got hired at another job, and then that's when I got really sick. And I think it was because the whole reason why I went there was because of my ex-boyfriend. He was the one that showed me. He basically gave me all the advice around, and then I realized it was all the bad advice that was not helpful to me. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Like the whole time I was there, I probably was going down the wrong path.
got you.
But when I first got there, I was feeling good, and then by the time I was like, I'm just gonna leave and start over.
Okay, so you decided you were gonna leave Nevada, fresh start,
Okay.
try to do it all over again. And where did you go from there?
So I went to Texas because I was homeless already, and I was in debt, and I was feeling homesick because it's closer to Chicago than Nevada, and so like when I get homesick, I feel like I need somebody, like I need a boyfriend, like anyone, like that I meet. And then again, I tended to meet. Well, I had a kid with he was from Michigan. That didn't work out, and then I met another guy, and then he was he had like a bad temper. And we were together for like 2.5 years. He was from Texas. And then the same thing happened. I got out. I got a place to live. I stopped talking to him, and I think that's how I got a place to live. I started doing better. Then I started feeling like empty. I'm not really sure why. Like what's wrong with me? It might be a psychological thing. I might need more therapy. I don't know, but I started feeling like empty. And so I started, I went out and I started talking to him again, and we started hanging out again. And then I started drinking again and using drugs. And I was like meeting other people that I'd never met before, and I was like doing coke, and I was like smoking pot and drinking. And then again, I didn't want to, and then I would get a job, and then I didn't want to work. And then I quit, and then I just ended up moving out, and then I came here.
Okay, and where are you staying at this time in Texas?
San Antonio.
No, I mean like where are you housing?
When I was homeless, there was a shelter there. There was like a co-ed shelter, and then they had COVID, so then they had like the hotel. But it was pretty nice. And then I got my when I was staying at the hotel, I stopped talking to him. I started realizing that the problem. And I think I got like I have a problem, like I got bored or something, because I think I was like working too hard to try to like get better, get my life together, and then I got bored, and then I started wanting
Fell
to,
back into it.
yeah, I wanted to hang out with people that were like opposite of me, and then it's just like it's too much, you know. But
Okay.
okay, so I was there, and then I got an apartment on like I think it was the west side of San Antonio. It was like real quiet. It was really nice. Um, Again, and then everything was good. It was perfect. I got bored, and then I went back into
Wow. And so you
What do
ended
you
up
think?
losing that apartment?
Huh?
Did you end up losing that apartment?
I just moved out. I was still paying it when I left, but
Okay.
then because my parents were, I co-signed. Um, so technically, like I wasn't like paying for the whole thing myself, but I had to get off the street because it started getting dangerous there. And I was telling my parents like I gotta get out, I gotta get out, get out. You know, you had to co-sign with me, please. And they did. And then I was like working, I was paying some, and then yeah, I was up.
Okay. So you weren't actually homeless when you left Texas,
Right.
but what made you want to leave?
I was starting to feel like I want to be homeless again very soon because I was starting to want to. I was starting to go like downtown again and drinking, and I was staying out. I wanted to stay outside at night with the people that I had met when I was homeless, rather than in my apartment, because
Okay.
it was just too stressful for some reason. And I
Gotcha.
didn't know why, but I just noticed that my stress like would go down and I feel more comfortable outside, like when I was like. But then I go back and then I realized I probably was gonna end up homeless again. I prefer going downtown and drinking and hanging out and seeing these people again. I don't know why, but I don't know.
Okay.
It
And
could be the best.
so once again, you leave in another state. Where you go after Texas?
So I came here.
To Philadelphia.
I came here in January. Yeah,
You
last
came
year.
from Texas to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's going on in Philadelphia?
Well, what happened was right before I left Texas, I saw my ex-boyfriend because I was contemplating. I was sitting outside one night and I was contemplating. It was like almost, you know, it was like 4 in the morning, and I was like, well, technically, I still had time to go home, and it's like I'm just out late or something. And I saw him, and then I realized, I remembered that he's, you know, he's like a bad temper, and I was scared of him and stuff. So I was like, I gotta leave because I'm going down the wrong path. I just like I felt like I couldn't get out. So I came here, and so I was feeling really good. I was feeling like safe because I know he probably would have come in. And then I I just went to I got off at the train, and then I went down by Kensington Street. I know I saw like on YouTube there's a lot of homeless people there. And I've just been, I don't know, just trying to work my way out. Like, and then I went to New York. I'm just trying to like see like where.
Okay.
Good influences.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And my number one advice to you, Kelly, I would say, if you can, please stay away from Kensington.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
That is the epitome of the place that can suck you in and bring you down.
Okay.
Because you have a history of, liking to be in a certain environment and being comfortable with certain people,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
Yeah.
People that are going through similar things that may be able to understand you better.
Yeah.
However, Kensington, Philadelphia is a different world.
Okay.
It will eat you alive, literally. So my
I don't know how they
advice to
survive
you,
over there. I really don't.
huh?
I don't know how they survive over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's some people, they get used to it. They get accustomed to, and they want to leave, but like you said earlier, they're familiar, and it's just like, okay, I know I can eat here. I can at least make enough to eat. I can make enough to get high, and they just forget about time, and before you know it, they're years in and they're a shell of themselves.
Okay, yeah.
So I would say stay away from
Okay.
Kensington.
Okay.
Okay, so you're here and you experiment with Kensington, I guess you could say, and then what do you do next? Like, what was?
I wanted something like the opposite because I started to feel like you just said, like I got sucked in. It was hard. I was like, I don't know how to survive here. So I got on the bus and I went to New York, and then I stayed there. And then the cops would come by to go to the shelter, and then it's just like at the shelters. I mean, some people they die there, they OD, they die because they're just burnt out from being homeless. They get in fights, and some of them are just crazy, and you just gotta get away from them. So I left, and then I came back here.
Okay,
I
so
didn't know what else to do. 'Cause I felt like I needed to have a job. I didn't really want to stay. I didn't really have like a place to stay on the street. They let me stay. Like they were pretty nice. They let me stay there and sleep there. But I started to feel like I was becoming like a burden. So I'll just go back because I know they have more homeless people in Philadelphia. And then once I get a job, I can figure it out.
okay, so you haven't had a job yet in Philadelphia. You just been surviving. You just been surviving on the
And
streets.
then my ID got stolen, so I'm trying to get an ID.
Okay, your ID got stolen.
Yeah.
So you lost your identification. I know that became an issue.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I've always had good luck since I've been homeless. Since 2018. I've had my ID. I've always had an ID. I always had my social. Um, I fell asleep one night and I had like this like small bag. I didn't think like anybody would be around. I woke up and it was gone. So, and it turns out even just to get like a city ID, you need like a birth certificate, social, all that stuff, and that was pretty much all in my bag. And so I'm gonna have to. It takes like 6 weeks to get a birth certificate, so it's gonna be like a while, I guess. So,
Yeah.
and it takes a while to see a caseworker because there's like a ton of people here that are signing up for caseworkers, so that takes a while too because they have to order it. Because I'm not gonna be able to, because I had like a bank card, but it got stolen also, so I don't have access to any of that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that might be an issue with getting a job, a free phone,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. I had a food stamp card also in there. I'm gonna probably need an ID just to replace it. So yeah, everything. Yeah.
Right. So that's a setback.
Yeah.
Okay. So just hope that you're able to accumulate those things again and work on getting a job.
Yeah.
So what's your plan for getting out of this situation?
I'm working on the ID first. I'm trying to get into like habits, good habits, meeting good people, um, and just using the internet and trying to maybe volunteer. Like I want to go to like an animal shelter, um, because I feel like I'm safe enough. I know a lot of people like they don't feel safe, and I want to be able to like give back with that, like how I did it. But yeah, so I feel like it's kind of goes slow because there is like a long waiting list. There's more homeless people than there is shelter, like caseworkers and available shelters. So it takes a while. So I guess just I'm trying to learn to be patient, but just using the internet. And because even if I get an ID, I could still get into trouble. I could still meet the wrong people, and they could still rob me. They could still beat me up because I've gotten beat up. If you get on the right track, sometimes they will get jealous, you know. So I mean, it's just trying to learn street smarts and the right places that will help me, but also using what I've learned from school and stuff.
What's the worst thing experience that you've been through, or worst thing you've seen since you've been on the street?
Um, the worst is like when people OD, like when people do too many drugs. And I see there's a lot of talented and smart people that are homeless,
Absolutely.
and they want to do drugs. Their family might kind of be like
What's the worst
abusive to
experience
them.
you've had out here or
Getting beat
anywhere on
up.
the
I
street?
had some I had this one kid kick me in the face when I was sleeping.
Wow.
I think because this guy, he gave me like this nice blanket, and he's like, I don't need it, whatever. And I don't know, he was like walked by. I think he got jealous. You know, he thought it was mine, and he just like kicked me in the face, and I was like, what the hell? And that was on Kensington. It is crazy over there. And another guy beat me up. Um, because he said I walked through his neighborhood or whatever, and I thought it was like all homeless people because it was still like a homeless area right here. It was like tons of crap and like homeless people go there. So I thought I was fine, and it was like the second day I got here, and yeah, so I stay away from all that kind of stuff now. So that's the thing that kind of that was a
Okay.
bad
How
experience, you know. So
how do you go about
it's kind of hard.
surviving and eating things
Um,
like that?
I get lucky. People can give me money. And before that, like I had a bank account. My parents will give me money if I'm desperate. They got shelters. They hand out food. People give me like I got 2 gift certificates for like Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's. I don't really have a hard time with food and drinks, but it's like keeping your IDs and not getting robbed or beat up. That's like the
Okay.
biggest thing.
And where do you sleep and things like that?
Um, I sleep like in the alleys over by
Okay.
Center City, or I sleep over the
So
steamer
you
or
don't
the
be worried
heaters.
as a woman out here?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
say I don't really sleep that much. I'll
Right.
sleep like a few hours a night, or I'll sleep during the day. But yeah, a lot of times there's security guards like walking around, so I usually try to go like where they have something like that.
Got you.
Yeah.
And what advice would
The
you
thing
give?
is though, if you have an apartment too, you can also be worried about people breaking in and robbing you.
True.
You know, I mean, I don't have like a $1 million mansion where I can pay for. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing, kind of.
If you could give advice to anybody out there, what would it be? And
That's
it's
homeless or not homeless.
if you could give advice to anybody out there so they won't go through a situation
Okay,
like
that's
this, what would it
struggling.
be?
I would say if you think you're about to be homeless, but you're not yet, and you still have like a job and you still have everything together, like keep going and don't just give up, because I feel like I gave up kind of too soon. And then maybe you can pave a path for other homeless people, because we have a hard time getting out. And for people that are homeless already, I guess go to drug recovery, go to therapy. They have pretty good therapy out here. um Try to keep an ID, because they're always asking, do you have an ID? And it is helpful. Like when I had an ID, it was helpful. That's how I think I found like good influences. And yeah.
Okay. And if you, for anybody watching, anybody that may see this, if you wanted anybody to know anything about Kelly as a person, what would it be?
um um I'm a nice person. I'm talented. I like sports. I like art, singing, drawing, and I'm from Chicago. And I like animals. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of talent, when you say you're talented, what kind of
Yeah.
talents do you have?
Um. hmm, I'm a pretty good athlete.
Okay.
You know, I was a pretty good athlete when I was in school. I played tennis, and I was almost a professional tennis player. I was real close, and I was a dancer. And I was gonna, my dream when I was like a kid, I was gonna go to New York and try to be in the professional ballet. I forgot what they call it. Like what do they call it? There's like a professional ballet like school or something. I don't know. I was trying to do that and like for a job. I was pretty close, but then it got too hard. And then my feet started killing me and they were like bleeding. I took a break and then yeah. I don't know. Yeah, praying helps too. I pray and I notice my days get better and I start moving up every time I pray. So I give that advice also to people who are homeless. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep God first. Keep putting good into the universe. Stay away from bad people.
Yes.
Stay away from Kensington.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.